Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast, brought to you from I Music and Podcast Studios in downtown Boulder City. This is your host, Jill Lagan, CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. In each episode, we will highlight what makes Boulder City, home of the Hoover Dam, the ideal place to operate your small business, explore world-class tourism attractions, and discover why we are the perfect place to live and unwind. All right, Best Damn Podcast listeners, today we have a treat, and I'm excited to introduce you to Nicole from Cards With Glee. Nicole just recently won the Best of Boulder City in the category of boutiques and art, and I think there was one other...
Gift shop.
Yep. Well, congratulations. So
Thank
deserving.
you.
We're very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, we talk about Best of Boulder City as being a truly organic, a way for people to really recognize those that they love, because this doesn't have the component of being able to buy votes or any of the other things that in some other communities they do open it up for that. This really is a representation of people's love for your shop. So congratulations, because it really means something.
It does. It really does.
When did you start Cards With Glee?
Well, the brick and mortar, the online,
Let's from very, very beginning. When was the original concept?
The original concept probably, I guess it's always been a concept. I started making cards at a very, very young age. And in high school, they were just like kind of a treat for my group of friends. And so it was always kind of like, you need to sell them, you need to sell them. So the concept was there for a really long time. But I think, like most people, 2020 was kind of the time where I could work from home and had more time at home. And so that's when I took a business course online and then started selling online 2021. And then later, a year later, opened the brick and mortar.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad that you did. It's an asset to the historic district. You've really added to Boulder City. You're a great business owner, entrepreneur. So congratulations. You're doing great things. And can you just share with the listening audience, if they are someplace else and they're looking to come to Boulder City, what do you offer at your shop? And maybe just give them a little overview of everything that you guys offer.
Sure. So the shop started with my stationery line. So I make cards, and then I met a bunch of other women makers. I carry, at this point, about over 100 women makers in my shop. So we focus on stationery, definitely greeting cards. Stickers are really huge, enamel pins, gifts, gift bags. But I think the real star of this show is what we call our cussing closet.
It's the truth.
It is the truth. It's kind of like the little naughty corner, if you remember the old video stores going behind the beaded curtains. But we do have a fun curtain. It's not beaded, but it's fun. And it's just the sweary cards and gifts. So just a little more cheeky, a little more sassy. Just the cards you cannot find at the dollar store or CVS.
And I would imagine people walk in your shop and ask for that closet.
Oh, gosh. Yes. And being an educator, a lot of educators and a lot of nurses.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh, my gosh. I think nurses have some of the darkest sense of humor.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine teachers, too.
Yeah.
And, man, the stories that teachers could tell, too, is, I'm sure.
Yep.
So I love that you did that. And something else that I know that is very popular for you are the classes and things that you offer. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So I've been an educator for the last 20 years, so you can take the girl out of the classroom, but I'm going to bring that classroom with me wherever I go.
Right.
So I am still school counseling, but I also wanted to incorporate education into the shop. So I did that through the way of fun classes, which don't require lesson plans and testing.
That's right.
So we do all sorts of crafting workshops. So sometimes I teach them, or sometimes I have other women in the community who are masters of their craft come in and teach. So, for example, we've had Melissa from Iron Rose come in and teach a succulent workshop. I do workshops such as wax seals, or all sorts of stuff. Make your own ornaments. We have our resident in-house earring maker, Shannon, and she does polymer clay. So we do workshops with ornaments with her and earrings. Or we've had another local, Emily, who come in and taught bookmaking. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, all sorts of ones. And then sometimes we just partner with other businesses. So we're going to be working with Boulder Bowl actually tomorrow.
How fun.
We're doing Spooky Bowl, so we combine and, we just market together and throw parties together. So we're going to do a costume bowling party tomorrow. But our next one will probably be holiday card writing and wax seals.
Oh, I love it. And wax seals.
Yeah,
You know, that's just like a lost art, and I love to get things like that.
Yeah.
Wedding announcements that have a wax seal. Don't you just want to go to that wedding no matter whose kids are inside of that?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Just makes you slow down a little bit and just really appreciate the little things.
I need to do that for my Christmas cards this year.
Well, you should come to the workshop.
I
Let you know.
am. When is that class?
I think we're going to do it November 23rd. It's a Saturday.
Oh,
so
so
yeah.
that's like the
In a
weekend
month.
before Thanksgiving.
Yes, because then it
Ooh.
just gets wild, and I know some people want to get their cards out right away. So
Oh, that's awesome. And Lexi will be in town, so I'm going to sign us up.
yes.
Oh, I
yes.
love that. We're going to make sure we produce this show and release it before, since there's dated information.
That would be great.
We'll get that out because that is a great one. I think that would be fun. Get
Super
everybody
fun.
to come.
We do like an ugly sweater contest and trivia and hot cocoa bar and everything.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you are an avid participator of the Best Damn Wine Walk. We sure
Oh, yes.
appreciate that and glad that people can stop in and see what you have to offer. That, that really was always the goal of and meeting our mission is driving other customers into our individual businesses. And so when we can see that happening on that night, we know that it's successful. And if it stops happening, then we will stop doing it because
No, please. We love it.
good. Well, we're glad. We're glad
so
you like it.
appreciative of it.
So who is your target audience?
I would just say, I always call my store the sweet and sweary. So people with big hearts that maybe have a little bit of a foul mouth.
That's cute, sweet and sweary. So if you're having a good day or a bad day.
Some of those words can be used so many ways.
That's true.
But yeah, I think it's just people. I think when you shop for stationery, you're somebody who's thoughtful because that gift. If you're buying cards, it's so that you can gift somebody else and cheer up somebody else's day. But, a lot of us are also really snarky, too. So I think it's that. Like, people who aren't afraid to say what they need to say, but also have really huge hearts.
Well, I love that. We're celebrating the art of still handwriting something. Your handwritten note, I go back and, my mom's been gone for 12 years, and I go back and I've just been cleaning out stuff out of her room this last week, and I just find a little sticky note that just has her handwriting on it, and it just makes my heart warm.
Yeah.
So I love that you still celebrate the art of writing, so thank you. And what do you think is one of your favorite parts of this job? Is it the teaching element? Is it just having the retail and having a space for people to come? Is it I would think, maybe even allowing those makers to have a place that they can offer their wares?
Yeah, it's a lot like education. I learned just relationships are the most important thing. They're just the building block for everything. And so I just didn't even realize the incredible relationships I was going to make, not just like from me to customer, which I call them friendemers now. Because,
friendemers.
I made so many friends through customers. But then I didn't realize the kinds of relationships I would make with, the other makers who come into my shop. And,
right.
And a lot of them, it's been their first time ever teaching. And I'm like, well, I know everything about this. I'll help you. Don't worry. You have this skill. I'll teach you how to teach.
That's awesome.
So that's been really exciting to get people like over that initial fear and teach for the first time. And then like just seeing the glow, it's awesome. And then, just relationships with the vendors that I have in the shop. Like I said, I have probably over 100 makers in the shop. And so the relationships I've cultivated with women all over the country and even in other countries to get their products in the shop, like that's just, my mind is blown. I just didn't expect all of that. It's incredible, the people that are here.
Oh, I love that and all the support that you feel.
Yeah.
Do you still have your online presence as well?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Definitely in person is more, but I still have an online shop that I've always kept up.
Very good. So guests that do come from other states and they come and they visit and they see, they have the ability to still stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you guys offer that.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that in this line of work, and maybe it's even in your other life, we'll call it another life as a teacher and a counselor, have you ever had an aha moment, something that made you realize this is why I do what I do?
Yes. So one of my favorite moments, it was 2 summers ago. And I had a little girl from the community, and she would come in all summer. A lot of the kids did. They would come in, and I have stools up at the counter, and they'd be like, can I make my own card? And they would make their own cards. And, then they would be like, can I sell my card in your shop? So I would keep track of the little kids.
Oh, cute.
And I would pay them out if they sold their card, and they would come in and see. It was really sweet. So one little girl kept coming in all summer, and which, as an educator, warms my heart that they have this little safe space that's cool in the summer to hang out.
Right.
And I remember she was there all afternoon, and I was working, and she just said, I love you.
Oh.
And she whispered it, and she's normally very cheeky, very funny. And I said, oh my gosh, what did you say? And she turned bright red, and she's I love you.
She was afraid.
Yeah, she was, she was this vulnerable moment for her. And, I just try to choke back the tears. I was just I was so nervous leaving my teaching job, coming to retail, that I would miss out on those incredible relationships with kids. And then to see that I could still foster a safe place for kids, for a kid to feel so comfortable to say that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
You just gave me an aha moment as to why you exist and why that shop is there. That is exactly why it's there. You're so cool. Well, thank you very much. Okay, all right. Now we got to laugh.
Okay, yes.
So I'm sure there's a funny experience you've had too. Is somebody come in, their pants falling down or something funny?
Yeah, lots of things. But one time that really sticks out is I had just opened. I'd been open for maybe just a couple months. And we get some crazy wind here. We have some today. And I just, I have a back room, but then I have a back room. And that's where we store boxes and stuff for shipping. And so just real quickly, I went to the back room just to grab a box. And because of the wind tunnel, the door shut behind me. And with my luck, the door was locked.
No.
Yeah, from the other side. I couldn't unlock it from my side. And I didn't have my keys on me or my phone on me because it was just supposed to be a 3-second grab a box and run back to the counter.
Right.
So the door was open to the shop. My laptop was out. My iPad was out. My cash box was out. And I was locked in the back room. And I couldn't get out. I didn't have my keys on me. So I had 2 doors, but they were both locked. So I was freaking out. And I was trying to bang on the wall, but my neighbors couldn't hear me because I was way too far back.
No.
And so there was a metal door that leads out the back of the property. And I was able to bend it far enough that I could squeeze myself through.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was there for 45 minutes.
Panicking.
I heard one lady in the front God, who just leaves their shop like this?
Oh,
and
no.
I'm trying to scream to get their attention, but they couldn't hear me because it's cinder block walls. It was crazy. But when I came back, nothing was taken. Nothing.
Well, okay, so let's put yourself in the shoes of the lady that wants to know who the crazy woman is that left their shop like that. So if she had heard you screaming from the back room, do you think she would have been brave enough to walk behind your counter, go in your little back room, and get to the door?
Probably not.
I don't know that I would have. I've been like, heck no, this place has been robbed. I'm out.
This place is haunted. I'm out of here. No, I'm not surprised that nobody came back there, but it was a little scary. The only thing that got me through is I knew my husband was going to bring me lunch that day. So I said, at some point, a human will know that I missed something.
And he would have panicked if he noticed you weren't there. He would have panicked.
Oh, I know.
He is such a good support to you.
He really
is awesome.
Yes.
We love him.
He's the best wine pourer.
Well, I think he's just really cool. He's just so supportive. And
he really is.
He would have rescued you if you hadn't torn the wall down.
Well, he did watch the shop for the rest of the day. I called him once I escaped, and I was crying.
Oh.
And he was like, go home and lay down. I will watch the shop.
Oh, my gosh. And did he repair the metal that you just tore off the wall?
We just had to bend it back in place. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It was wild. It was really wild. It's crazy the strength you have when you really need to do something.
Well, they say you have super strength when you're scared, you can move a car off a child or whatever.
Yeah, you could rip open your back metal door.
Well, I'm going to go by and look at that door and see what it is.
It has an anchor on it. You can see it in the back parking lot.
Well, but, we are talking on a podcast, and there are a few listeners, and hopefully they don't try to rob you now.
I don't think you could do it from the outside.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. So I know that when you first got started, you were making cards way back in high school, right? Mm-hmm. And so did you save any of those cards?
So I gave them away.
Oh.
I gave them to my friends, I made them for them.
Cute.
I've totally badgered them, can you go to your childhood home and see if it's in a basement somewhere? So they've all searched, but no, I can't find one, which makes me so sad.
Oh, shoot.
I know.
It's almost like you could start a museum.
I know. I'm they need to work harder.
I think that is so cool. We need to put it out there on social media. Yeah. We're looking for these lost cards. Yeah. So I think that's awesome. What was your first real job, like a first paying job?
It was working at Jewel, which is Albertsons here, a grocery store, and I was a bagger and a cart collector in the middle of winter in Chicago, and it was really cold.
Oh, my goodness. Is that where you're from,
I'm
Chicago?
from Chicago, yeah.
Oh, so this little wind we've got going on today is no big deal, but
The wind is actually worse here.
it is so frustrating.
It is.
So all of our special events tonight, we have Macbeth in the park, and I'm like, Shakespeare did not have to deal with this kind of wind. Why are we? It's so frustrating. Well, I love that. So what's something that we don't know about you that will be the exclusive unveiling here on the Best Damn Podcast?
Oh, man. So I don't know, things you might not know. I'm left-handed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I am left-handed.
So that means you're very creative, right?
I guess so. It makes sense with the
Huh.
shop.
Yeah.
I'm red hair, blue eye, and left-handed. I'm like less than 0.001% of the population. I'm a unicorn. You have a unicorn right here.
A unicorn with red hair.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love it.
I speak French. Je parle français.
I just got back from France, and I did not do great at it, even though I took 3 years of French in high school. So Mrs. Milburn will not be happy with me. But
It's tough, though. It's really tough.
yes.
It's very
So all I can remember from high school French was Je m'appelle Chantal Nicole, because that was my French name.
Ah, c'est très bien.
And I did learn très bien a million just different times because I just said that to everybody. But thankfully, during the Olympics, there were so many people who spoke English because there was such an infusion.
Oh, yeah.
What we were told is all the Parisians left for 6 weeks.
I 100% believe it.
Me too. And there were a lot of little shops that weren't open because, especially down around the Seine and around the Olympic Village, many of those little small shops were closed because they just, it's hard. All the roads are closed and they didn't even know how to get to work sometimes. It was crazy.
I can't imagine.
But it was wonderful. It was such an awesome experience. And so when you were in France, were you teaching in France?
I did teach in France, yeah.
Okay.
So I did minor in French. Both my parents were born in Poland, actually just one meadow apart, but didn't meet until Chicago.
That's crazy business.
Yeah, that's a really cool story. But my mom did, my dad moved from Poland to America, but my mom moved from Poland to France, then to America. So that's why I was really interested in French. And so,
yes.
yeah.
And it drove you to go back and learn more.
Yeah, exactly. So then, I started teaching in Vegas. And then after 3 years, I was like, I wanted to study abroad, but I didn't in undergrad. So I was like, how can I do that? So I found a teaching program and got to teach there for a year. It was
That's awesome. And so what part of France?
It's called Le Havre, which is up north. It's where the Seine River meets the English Channel. So it's right in that estuary.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah.
So we did go to Normandy, but that's not as...
Yeah, it's part of Normandy. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is awesome. That was amazing. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That was very amazing and so much history and so much to learn. And anyway, I always found it fascinating to stand in the footsteps of places that a battle took place or some, very historic moment. I find fascinating. That's why I love Washington, D.C. as well. But so we were in Châteauroux.
Okay.
And so we ended up driving 2.5 hours every day to get into Paris. But that's where the shooting complex was. And so it's where Lex was staying. So we stayed down there. But then we also drove down to Marseille and loved that. Oh, my gosh.
Too, southern France, yeah.
Oh, my gosh, yes. But we flew in and out of Geneva because it would be so much easier than dealing with the crowds in Paris. So
that airport sucks on a good day. So.
Oh, my gosh. It was such a beautiful drive. And then we ended up staying 3 days in Geneva because our plane never left. But anyway.
Darn.
Yeah, we loved it. Got to take Barry to the real Matterhorn.
Oh,
next weekend he's taking me to the pretend Matterhorn. So it's awesome. We had really fun. So I'm glad you have such a neat experience because I do believe having experiences in outside of our own little world is so important and valuable. I think youth need to travel more.
100%.
They need to have that life experience and see that, those individuals in those other countries are so much like you and interested in you. And it's not just what the media tells you or what the news tells you. I found it fascinating going to China, and those people were so loving, and they wanted to know, and they just want to touch you. They want to be around you. And I don't know. It opened my eyes that we are just a very small grain in this big ocean.
Yes. It's like it was just so... Even being an educator overseas, it was like there's so many ways to do something. There's no one right way to do something, So I think that's so important for students, too, that they're just not in there. Well, everybody, just to get out of your own bubble and see, there's many different ways to live, and one's not more right than the other. It's just, you can learn so much. I mean, I learned so much about education in a different way that I would have never known otherwise.
Do you believe that it helps open your mind to other thought processes, other beliefs, other, ethnic groups?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like sometimes we're so kind of myopic in our thought process, but I think it widens that scope and it allows you to really get to know other people and be open-minded to know that, hey, there are others out there. They've got opinions, but they love just as much as anybody else.
Oh, God, absolutely. Absolutely. So, right now I'm a college and career counselor, so I mostly work with seniors, and I get so excited when a kid wants to travel abroad. I'm like, this is the best thing you can do. Let's look into it. Let's figure it out because you need to go. You need to go. It's amazing.
Agree.
And then you just become such a better advocate in your own community.
Oh, man, I so agree with you. And I think it really adds to their foundation and their life work and what they will accomplish. Yes. That is awesome. So that is super cool. So is there any specials, any opportunities? Are you doing something fun coming up that we should be aware of at the shop?
We're working on what we're calling, the 12 crafts of Christmas. So I would keep your eye out for that. So we're going to have just really simple drop-in crafts leading up to the holidays. So that's one thing that I know of. And, we'll have our card writing and wax seals. So those are the ones that I know for sure. And we'll see. We'll probably do something for Small Business Saturday. We'll probably do another scavenger hunt for kids around town. We might bring it back for Wine Walk if we have time. So,
you guys are so busy. And that's a hard time because there's just so much happening very fast all at once. Yeah. So I love the scavenger hunt for kids, though. And I was sharing with Misty and Amber from Dam Roast. We are talking about the Young Entrepreneur Day.
Yeah.
And so we definitely we're excited that you're willing to be a part of that too. We want to help expand what Dixie Valdez has already started and offer that Young Entrepreneur Day where there's 2 or 3 kids in every business.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I think so too. And I can imagine they will be fighting over getting to be at your shop.
I would be honored. I think it's incredible. It's so great. I mean, that's something that I talk about with our students too, that we don't currently in the curriculum, there's no room for entrepreneurship. It's, college, career, military, or even travel or missions, which is all really great. But I'm like, where's entrepreneurship? So, I love that Reuben and Dixie fostered that here and that they, fostered the scavenger hunt. I mean, I love it.
We've got some really cool things. You know what? Our community is awesome, isn't it?
It really is.
We're so passionate about it, and I am glad to get to work with somebody. And congratulations on being best of. It was definitely deserving, and we're glad that you get to hang that badge in your window because it tells people how great you are.
Oh, I appreciate it. Seriously.
Thank you for being here with us today, sharing a little bit more, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This episode of the Best Damn Podcast has been a production of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce, brought to you from I&I Music and Podcast Studios. Please check out all the links and social media handles on our website as well at bouldercitychamber.com. You can find the Best Damn Podcast on all your favorite podcast directories. Like us and share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City.